I'm gonna say first of all, I don't give a
yeah, I get it.
But I give a because
try to make it bad.
With you as a person.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before, okay, let's just say before all that happened, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say before all that happened. Bro, I'm listening to you, Ross.
Yeah.
I feel like you wanted to.
Hey!
Shut the f*** up!
I'm listening to you, Ross. I feel like you probably one of the best lyricists from the South that we got. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you poetic, bro. When I listen to your music, I think you put a lot of time and effort into this.
Next time I come for free, at least have me some lemon pepper Wingstop at that. You heard me? But I came for free. I ain't charging. You feel me? Don't talk about Rose other business. I came and did that for free. And what is the analytics? How the show doing anyway, man? I come back on it, and when I'm gonna walk off that the next time, and this bitch say, Rose, what's I doing? Of course.
Be mindful. You may never know who knows somebody, who kin to somebody, who saw what you posted. Because you're gonna have to stand on business. Ross, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free.
Diddy's and Ross, which are good buddies, okay? They're gay. Who? Both. Eddie and Ross.
The whole situation flipped in seconds, and anybody watching could tell this wasn't just another live stream joke session. DC Young Fly's energy changed so fast the whole room felt it. One moment everybody was vibing, cameras catching laughs, folks chilling like it was about to be a regular show, and then boom. DC locked eyes with Rick Ross, and the air got heavy like someone cut the music mid-beat. Even through the screen, you could feel that shift hit your chest, the kind that tells you somebody finally hit their limit. And the second DC leaned in and fired off, "You're a fraud," the building didn't just react, it exploded.
I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge. I did it on face, homie. I didn't ask you what your analytics was and this and that. I came on face, homie, to show love. And don't make it like I walked off on you. I left early. Rose had some other things to do too. But guess what?
People screamed, phones came flying up, some stepped back like they didn't want to get caught in the middle of whatever was about to go down, and others rushed forward because they knew they were witnessing something wild. Ross tried to keep that cool guy face on, rubbing his beard, adjusting his stance, looking around like he hoped somebody on his team would jump in and rescue him, but help wasn't coming tonight. The moment already spun out of control, and DC came with a different kind of heat. Not playful, not goofy, not for show, but real frustration spilling out. Folks online later said DC wasn't arguing, he was revealing, and the crowd understood immediately because every time DC raised his voice, people reacted like he landed a clean punch in a title fight. You know that moment when a room gets quiet because everyone's waiting to see how the other person responds?
You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's just,
but then you
we could have those debates, we really could.
Templar was off the chain.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
and I like the way you
Different
followed up
times.
hustling with pushing it. Like, how did you know to come right back on their ass with
You got to,
right?
man, just don't take the foot off the gas.
Ross stood in that silence, except it wasn't quiet. It was thousands of people waiting on him, and he had nothing strong to fire back with. People sitting close said they saw DC's whole vibe shift long before he snapped, like he was brushing off slick comments from Ross earlier, trying to laugh them away, but you could tell it wasn't sitting right. He kept letting little things slide, but not because he was scared, because he was trying not to ruin the show. Then something Ross said must have pushed him past that point, because DC didn't hold back after that. And even now, people are still debating what sparked it. Some swear Ross said something off mic. Others think DC was tired of Ross walking around acting like the whole event belonged to him. And a few backstage folks said the tension had already been brewing before the cameras even turned on. Whatever the truth is, DC's reaction came from something real. When Ross finally tried talking, it didn't matter. The crowd drowned him instantly. The noise bounced off the walls like everyone had been holding their breath, waiting for DC to say what they couldn't. Some people were laughing because they couldn't believe anybody would check Ross like that, and others were locked in watching every micro movement like it was a championship moment. And Ross looked stunned. Not angry, not confused, just stunned. Like nobody had ever spoken to him like that. especially not someone as naturally funny and high energy as DC. Even the live stream chat turned into chaos. Messages flying across the screen so fast you couldn't read a single one before 10 more popped up.
Restroom one time and I'm gonna take this jacket off.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can't.
Man, stay tuned.
You can't take your foot off for nothing.
All gas.
Oh, I'm talking about for life.
People were typing things like DC snapped and Ross wasn't ready nonstop. The wildest part is how serious DC sounded. His voice didn't shake, didn't crack. He wasn't joking or exaggerating. He was rooted in it. That tone people use when they're done pretending everything's cool. And DC started calling out patterns, not rumors, and things people always ignored with Ross. Showing up late, trying to control the room, talking over folks, bragging about wild stories that never fully line up. DC didn't break anything down step by step, but he threw out just enough for everybody in the building to connect their own dots. And the crowd reacted like somebody finally said what had been floating around for years. Security crept closer, like they weren't sure if they needed to separate them or protect Ross from the embarrassment he was sinking into. Ross did that little nervous grin he does when he doesn't know how to recover, but that only made people react harder because they could tell he didn't have a strong comeback. And every time he tried to speak, the crowd's scream swallowed him whole. DC kept hitting him with lines like, "Stop acting like you're above everybody," and they see through that now, which only hyped the room even more.
Ross, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross. You ain't the only nigga who did it for free. T.I. do it for free. Busta Rhymes did it for free. Snoop Dogg did it for free. Everybody who sat on that couch doing.
Ross didn't even get a chance to take control. DC had the moment locked down completely. Backstage, folks were peeking around corners, whispering, trying not to laugh too loud because they knew this moment was going to be everywhere by sunrise. Someone even said the floor was shaking because the crowd went so wild. Staff kept trying to signal DC to chill, but he wasn't paying attention to anyone except Ross. That stare he had, sharp, locked in, dead serious, let everybody know this wasn't about clout or going viral. This was personal. And Ross standing there taking it in silence only made the crowd louder, like they were feeding off the tension. By the time people uploaded clips online, it spread so fast that folks were arguing whether it was staged until they saw Ross's face. That look alone told the whole story. Nothing scripted, nothing rehearsed. It was real, raw, and loud enough to shake the entire internet. After that first explosion, the whole room stayed on tilt like nobody could pull the energy back down. DC Young Fly stepped away for a second, moving like he was trying to cool off, but you could tell he still had more on his chest. Meanwhile, Ross tried to puff himself back up, adjusting his jacket and attempting to slip into that big boss persona he always shows online. But the crowd wasn't rocking with it this time. The moment he opened his mouth, people were already buzzing, waiting to see if he would actually address what DC said or try to slide around it like nothing happened. He forced out a line trying to sound confident, but his voice didn't hit like usual. It sounded strained, like somebody trying to stay steady while the floor is shaking beneath them. DC stood there with his arms crossed, giving Ross a stare that cut right through whatever image Ross was trying to rebuild. And when Ross tried calling DC emotional, the crowd reacted instantly. A wave of gasps, laughs, and shouts hit the stage all at once. People started yelling, "Answer the man," and talk about what he said. And Ross looked tight because he realized folks weren't backing him the way he expected. Even the live stream chat was roasting him in real time, flooding the screen with Ross deflecting, and DC got him talking in circles. Because it was obvious Ross wasn't addressing the real heat. He was trying to act above it. DC didn't let him dodge a thing. He stepped right back in and said, "Stop playing with people's time and respect," and the room blew up again. DC started breaking down why he snapped, telling Ross he walks into every event acting like he runs the place, treating people like background noise instead of real talent. Folks backstage were nodding like DC was voicing things they'd been whispering behind closed doors for years. And when DC pointed out how Ross loves to make everything sound larger than life, the stories, the claims, the way he talks, the crowd reacted like they knew exactly what DC meant. People were shouting from the back and you could see heads turning everywhere. Ross tried holding his chain, adjusting it like he needed something to do with his hands, but that only made him look more uncomfortable. He told DC, "You don't know what you're talking about. But DC didn't waste a second firing back. He pointed at the entire crowd and said, "Everyone here knows what I'm talking about." And that line sent the room into pure chaos. People jumped up, screamed, and reacted like a wave slammed into them. Ross froze for a brief second, like the reaction hit him harder than the words themselves, and he didn't seem to know where to look. The energy in the building felt wild, not angry, not silly, but real. It didn't feel like two entertainers going back and forth for views. It felt like years of little moments boiling over in one explosive minute. The internet caught on instantly. As the clip spread, people started breaking it down like detectives, replaying Ross's expressions, studying DC's body language, and trying to figure out what really pushed DC past the edge. Some said DC was defending the culture. Some said Ross said something slick backstage. Others believed DC was fed up with the image Ross pushes. Either way, the clip grabbed millions in hours, and everyone had their own theory. Security started coming closer, not to break them up, but to control the crowd because folks were standing on chairs, rushing forward and trying to get the best angle of the showdown. Backstage sources even said Ross asked his team if he should leave, but they told him staying would look stronger. It didn't help. Every move Ross made looked shaky next to DC's energy. DC wasn't ranting randomly. He was calling out patterns and behaviors people always talked about, but never challenged directly in front of Ross. Ross attempted to laugh it off and switch the topic, but DC hit him with another sharp line. "Stop acting like you built half the stories you tell," and the entire room went wild all over again. People dropped phones, screamed, and grabbed their friends like they couldn't believe someone said that out loud with Ross standing right there. The clip of that line alone turned into countless memes, reaction edits, and captions within minutes. Even when the vibe calmed a little, the tension stayed heavy. DC stepped off stage for a moment, and the crowd followed him with cheers like they were riding with him all the way. Ross stayed behind trying to fix the energy, but the room wasn't feeling him the same. People were side-eyeing, whispering, replaying DC's words in their heads, and you could feel the shift in how folks viewed Ross. Some fans felt sympathy, while others said it was overdue. And when DC walked back out to finish the show, the crowd reacted with a roar that told you exactly whose side they were on. By the time the live stream ended, the only thing anybody could talk about was DC Young Fly standing 10 toes down and speaking with a level of honesty nobody expected. And whether Ross wants to act like it shook him or not, the reaction from the crowd and the internet made it clear that moment hit deeper than a regular backstage disagreement.